Beautiful Arizona, from the great mountain canyon country in the north to the desert sands bordering Old Mexico, is Indian country. As you see the grandeur and natural beauty unlike anywhere else in the world, remember the Indians owned it all long before any white man had a history of it. Think as we go from the high mesas where the Hopis look down on the world and on the marauding enemies, the Apaches, and to the sand dunes of Yuma, Yaqui, and Papago tribes where there are Indians looking at you from behind every rock and cactus bush. In the country of the Grand Canyon live the Havasupai tribe. They have a lovely tropical climate at the bottom, really 5 climates from the top to the bottom where the beautiful Colorado River flows and a great splashing waterfalls gush out from the towering rock walls. The only contact with the Indian tribe is by mule train or helicopter. So the children are flown into the Indian government school in Phoenix for their education. We have had the privilege to minister the gospel to many of them who have been saved and baptized in water. So the full gospel has reached the tribe even at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, though I have never ventured to ride a mule down that narrow trail. Every mountain and rock formation turns into a towering castle in an Arizona sunrise or sunset. The colors are really as vivid as the pictures. Eastern photographers sit for hours to capture the beauty on film. But this is God's given heritage to the American Indian. We missionaries ever grasp and wonder at the ever-changing, unmovable mountains. Here you see the colorful painted desert, and close by, samples from the petrified forest. And then closer, the natural rock village named by the Indians themselves, Window Rock. Here is a herd of goats that are being led to feed or to water, or sometimes they have to take them for many miles across the sands. Small boys and girls are sheep herders. They eat only one meal at the close of the day when the sheep are safe in the fold. Their food is mutton and fry bread. Now we have the beautiful cactus that grows in the deserts of Arizona. Every cactus has a beautiful flower. However, no one picks these flowers for bouquets. They have a way of saying hands off until my fruit is ripe. Then pick with a long stick. The fruit is good and sweet and flavorful, different indeed. But the Indians know how to cook the tender shoots and make syrup from its sugar. This is the jumping cactus. It has a way of throwing its needles when you get too close. This is the saguaro cactus. Rolling hills are covered with tree-like plants standing with arm-like sentinels. In spring it blooms in the top of each arm. Also the ocatilla blooms on single spines, and the Indians use them for making fences. Here is a huge prickly pear cactus. They yield a pear-like apple fruit. A cactus wilderness, and the little cactus wrens live here, and little ground rodents. You can hardly walk between this cactus. Date palms grow in the sandy desert, and they are shipped to the markets of the world, but many wild palms grow everywhere. These are the Japanese flower gardens. They bloom in the winter when the snow is flying in your country. At Christmas we pick oranges, but we wish that they were apples, as my taste has remained in me. Now we have Indian houses of the different tribes. They are made from many materials that can be found where they live. This is the home of many tribes of the desert people called a sandwich house. They're made of adobe pressed between boards or cactus sticks. They're at least a foot thick, and they're cool in the summer, and they're warm in the winter. A hogan home of the Navajo Indians in northern Arizona, made of adobe and small logs. The Hopi and Pablo homes are high on the mesas and are made of native stone. also prehistoric Indian high cliff dwellings. This is an Apache wikia, made of native grass. The ladies do the work. This missionary hasn't caught on, but the women do all the work, and the men are cowboys, out on the range in the high plateaus of Apache country. This is the finished home, easily mistaken by a paleface for an eastern haystack. Here we have the beautiful Indian children. This is the little princess and the scared brave. A living doll and a little cowboy. These are fashionable Indian ladies in blankets, velvet, and turquoise jewelry. This is an Apache girl getting ready for the CA convention. Her colorful dress has 12 to 14 yards of material and is made without scissors. An Apache beauty queen in a ceremonial dress. This is Mrs. Sampson in buckskin and beads. Her husband is one of our assembly ministers and a judge on the Pima Reservation. These are Apache mothers with their babies in cradle boards. She is carrying the baby to church. Going to the Apache trading post, if she has a cradle for her back, she uses the blanket in front to carry groceries. If they have a horse or a burro, the man rides and the lady walks beside them. This is a Wallapai lady making baskets. This is one of our Papago ladies and our beautiful basketry. This lady was a weaver in an exhibit in New York and several eastern states. These baskets she has made for me for my missionary exhibit. Here we have the ceremonial customs and worship of many tribes. Many dance in colorful costume to entertain. But many ceremonials are religious worship to their gods and to evil spirits and devils whom they fear and strive to appease. These are Apache devil dancers. This man and wife were medicine men who claimed their powers from Satan. Both they were saved and led others to Christ. A former medicine man is being baptized in water. This is an Indian grave, and the little cradle board is left to tell the sad story. The graves are shallow, mostly on top of the ground, and the unsaved put all their clothing and any valuable belongings in the grave or on top of it. This was our first funeral in 1947. We prepared him for burial and hauled the body in our old pickup truck along with the family. Many miles out into the desolate burying grounds, this was our first sad experience, but certainly not the last. This is the memorial of Ira Hayes, Pima Indian, nationally known hero of Iwo Jima. His mother is a fine Christian lady living in this house. This is our first service in 1947, which was out under this tree by an old adobe house where a tribal councilman lived. God healed his crippled son, and this healing opened the doors to many other homes. The Lord healed another of a broken neck, opening another reservation near Phoenix. This is the first Indian Assembly of God Church on East Washington Street, where we were for 18 years. My husband and I standing before a large Indian painting. Notice the beautiful handcraft and the Navajo rug on the floor. Our present church, that is in the path of the freeway. Teen-age students from many Indian reservations who are attending Phoenix Government School. We count this a great opportunity to reach these remote tribes for Christ. Children in our nursery, myself, and workers. Our church ladies are making tortillas, the delicious bread that they have taught me to love, along with pinto beans and hot chili peppers. Christmas in our church. The WMCs from many places send gifts at Christmas time, which we greatly appreciate. So we prepare for each 250. We appreciate gifts for CAs and children. groups that were baptized on Easter. Our very important foster children and preachers. 20 that have lived in our home. We are grandparents to many beautiful Indian children, and we have the 4th generation in the church. This is Virgil Sampson, his wife and family. The little one has my name. Virgil lived in our home until he was married. He is pastoring the Salt River Assembly God Church and is chief judge of the Pima tribe. These are the Sampson brothers, all great musicians and all tribal councilmen. Mary is married to an Apache. They graduated from our Indian Bible School together. This is Duncan Miles and son, who married my first foster daughter. He was CA president in a California church. We named their baby Rhea Joyce. This is his wife in Apache dress. The girl in the center is our foster daughter. She has a Christian radio broadcast in Apache. This is Doris Carlisle, a Pima. She was CA queen for a day. The first 2 girls are of the Maidu tribe from Northern California, and one, a Mohawk from Canada, students in the Bible school. Pat married a Papua graduate, now assisting in the school. This is Sam DeGray, student preaching in Navajo. This family are Crow Indians from Montana. They were saved in our church here, and he is now the pastor of an Assembly of God church and has sent a convert to the Bible school. His name is Brother Nosey's Dunn. Another Crow Indian who came to our church was Mr. Nosey's Country, also a Mr. Birding Ground. The Bible school student's name is Miss Wolfblack. This is the first school building of the All Tribes Indian Bible School that was built in 1957. It is now moved, and they are building in a new location. It is called the American Indian Bible Institute. The first student body and graduate class. Worshiping in chapel. Indian ambassadors for Christ. In Guadalupe, where the first service was also out under a tree. Then a remodel. At the time of this picture, there were 125 Spanish-speaking Indians coming to our church in Phoenix. My son gave the money for the land, and a wealthy rancher in California paid for the building of this lovely church. My husband has retired from his job now, and we are really too old to start another faith venture. But our vision is not dimmed, and we have seen God do so many exceeding and abundant things. The need is upon us again, so we are counting it God's leading to open doors and hearts to help us get into the new church. We know the Indian people do not have much to give, but their faith will bring the answer. Thank you kindly for the invitation and privilege to come into your assembly. God bless you, everyone.